This is The Total You. This is your hostess, Vorice, Wallace. I took a group of young people up to Grand Rapids to a Changing Point youth rally. And they had a conference or a panel there. And some of the questions were placed in by the young people in the audience. So I ask that you please listen in as these young people answer these questions posed by the young people. Stay tuned. I hope you enjoy it.
Do you, and you is representative of you, treat kids with respect all the time? I'm assuming this is directed at an adult, but, so that's the question.
Actually, as the older, generation, actually we should, because you don't know, in their household, they might be treated some type of, other different way with disrespect all the time. And you never know if you might be that example set to them, like, how can they treat like this? And you treat them was totally different, so you might want to be that example to somebody, because you never know what they might be going through at home, the differences that's going around them. You might be that example. God may bless you to be that example. Should, as the older generation.
Well, children are very special to God, so yes, we should treat children with respect, because that is one of God's precious things in the world. So I believe that all children should be treated with respect, and in return, we could again be an example to them and help them. So
that's basically what they said. The children, you have to give respect for them to get respect. So you can't act bad, and you can't do things and then wonder why you get, discipline. So of course we love our children, we want to respect our children, but children, you have to give that respect. You have to give the adults respect, because that's the only way you're going to get it. You're going to learn that in life. But yes, children are very important. Yes, you do respect them. They deserve respect, and yes, I do respect children.
I respect children because I know I didn't like being disrespected as a child, and it really affects you growing up. So I just feel like children should be respected, if they are being respectful back to their adults or peers too.
Piggybacking off you, and I do I'm recalling something in the Bible that says the children have to honor their parents, but also underneath that it also says that we're not to provoke our kids. So in saying that, honoring your mother and father, and then not provoking your kids, that has to have a line of respect into it as well. Respect for the child and respect for the parent. Also, me as a child, when I was growing up, and not being heard, to me, that was not respecting me, because you're not respecting my thoughts, my thought pattern, what I feel, or what I felt. Okay. And so that does, that reflects back onto what she just said. That affects you when you grow up, because now you don't think you're being heard, you don't think you're respected, and it does make you feel a certain type of way about yourself. So in respecting your child or respecting kids, you're letting them be who they are, and you're letting them know that it's okay to grow up. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay to feel a certain type of way, but you feel those things and you say what you need to say in respect to an adult.
Yes, I respect children because I look at kids as sponges. So whatever you do to them or don't do to them, they absorb that. So when you respect them, that's showing them that, okay, I am somebody. It's showing them self-worth, self-value. It's not tearing them down, it's building them up, giving them encouragement. So, like I said, kids are like sponges. So when you respect them, they also give respect back at the same time. I'll give you an example. Like, even when a kid is going through something, like I had a niece recently got in trouble. So I sat down and talked to her about what happened. And I talked to her about what happened and how to talk to her parents, and how to just give her parents respect. I said, because there's trust also in respect. So it goes hand in hand. So, and I think she respected me for what I did, sat down and talked to her about that, because really I never done that with her, but I seen something in her at that point in time and an opportunity to teach her something and show her respect, and also to gain respect from her, from, you know, as an uncle, that she can trust me, and you know, with what I'm telling her, and it doesn't go any further there. And I was also giving her encouragement at the same time, you know, so it just opened up a different relationship for both of us. So, you know, now she's trusting me, you know, to come in and give her encouragement and give her advice. And also, if anything else happens in her life, she can come to me, you know, and verbalize what's going on, and, you know, and trusting me that I'm going to give her the right instruction and wisdom. I'm just not going to give her something off the top of my head or whatever, you know, that she can just trust me. So it goes both ways, hand in hand.
Amen. Well, that's a good question for my generation, being that I was from the generation raised where you were seen and not heard. Kind of what you were talking about. We didn't have a voice, and I was very boisterous as a child, so I stayed in trouble because I couldn't figure out why didn't I have an opportunity to speak, you know, and all of these adults who see, being prophetic, you see things, and being discerning, you see things, and you not know and understand as a child what's going on, but I could see certain people trying to speak into my life. I could see that you're not a good person, so I'm absolutely not listening to you. So I stayed in trouble, being from a generation that was seen and not heard, and not understanding what it was, the gifting and calling that was on my life. So I learned, and I'm still learning, how to give children a place to have a voice. Because, as you said, we're sponges at that age. So it was taught to me, kids should be seen and not heard. But now I understand they should have a voice also. Because when you quiet them, it's going to come out in another way. So do I respect children? I should, and I'm learning still. Now, just to be comical, I would still drop kick a kid. But I am learning that they do have a right to have a voice.
Amen. Okay, the next question. And this is addressed for the seniors. Season, she says. See that? What is the difference between this generation and yours? What is the difference between this generation and yours? And I'm going to start with the seniors on this one.
Well, I think I just kind of said some of the difference. In my generation, you just did not have a voice, and as far as anything goes. And I came from a larger family, so I really got swallowed up. Being the sixth child, born into a family of 8 and 9, including my nephew who was raised by my mom. So I'm not going to use the word struggle, but I was very forceful in making sure that I was heard, but even in doing that, I stayed in trouble. So to me, to speak out meant trouble. So then that kind of shifts you to a place of, well, then I guess I just need to be quiet, because every time I talk, I get in trouble. And now this generation is totally the opposite. They don't care what people think. They are very disrespectful to anybody and everybody, because they feel I have a right to say what I want to say. I can do what I want to do, be where I want to be, go where I want to go. So that's the difference. And for me, is that the disrespect. I see a lot more. Even in being boisterous, I had to have respect for those around me. So I think that's, for me, is one of the differences, is piggybacking off the first question, is the respect. And being boisterous, I think sometimes can get a little bit out of hand.
That's a loaded question.
Yes, it is.
We can be here all day just on that one alone. If I had to pick one, I guess I would say entitlement. A lot of our kids these days feel like they're entitled to have and get whatever they want. They think that it's owed to them, and it's not. Like I told my daughter, and our oldest daughter, she's 20, just turned 25 this past week. I don't owe you anything. All you have to do is feed you, clothe you, and house you. That's all I'm really, by law, required to do. Everything else is, you know, that's on you. It has to be earned, you know, by doing what you're told, keeping your grades up, you know, and just being obedient to what we ask you to do. I mean, 'cause we're not asking you to do anything outside the norm, you know what I mean? You know, so for me, it just feel like you're entitled, and also instant gratification. That's another one. You want it now. You know, I gotta have it now. That's not how the world works. That's not how I was brought up, and probably, you know, the three of us and a lot of the older ones in here either. You know, we worked for what we wanted. We worked for what we got. You know, we worked hard. You know, so that's why we 9 times out of 10 are on you so hard about keeping your room clean, taking care of your things. You know, trying to teach you how to work. You know, and it's all about understanding, you know, what you have, you know, valuing what you have, you know, because it's just given to you. A lot of times you don't take care of it, you know what I mean? You don't appreciate it, but when you work hard for it and you understand how you got it, and especially if you put your own money into it, 9 times out of 10 you're going to take care of it. You know what I mean? Instead of destroying and tearing it up, you know, because you earned it. So, like I said, I can go on and on about that, so I'm gonna cut it short right there.
Okay, so what I would say about the difference between our generation and the generation after us is they're desensitized.
Oh, that's good.
When we were growing up, we had to pay attention to our surroundings. We had to pay attention to spirits that were present. We had to pay attention to all of that. Now, when I say they're desensitized, that means that what bothered us doesn't bother them. You know, what scared us doesn't scare them. They're very fearless when it comes to things that we knew better to do. You know what I'm saying? So, even, and I can go on and on about what they think would be right and what we think would be right and what they think would be wrong and what we think would be wrong. And just watching them grow up and speak to each other, how they talk to each other, how they talk to adults. We knew our boundaries. We knew what to say to an adult, when to stop. They don't. You know, and if they do, they don't have the respect to acknowledge that there's somebody, an adult that's in authority, that's over you, that's trying to give you wisdom, that's trying to give you instruction. And sometimes what they'll do is they'll listen a little bit and they'll take it and twist it on you. So it's a lot of difference between our generation and their generation. By the way, even how they dress code, how what they would like to wear. Some certain things we couldn't wear. It could have been shorts, it could have been pants. If mom looked at it and was like, okay, you know what, that's too tight, that's too short, you're not wearing that. Now, they can wear see-through like blouses, really short shorts, skirts, tight fitted, and it's okay. You know, they walk around with leggings. We couldn't do that. Leggings, we could only put shorts over it or wear over, you know, under a skirt. I think more so now, this generation is more free to do or feel like they can do what they want, when they want, and we didn't have that.
So did you want the youngest to reverse it or no?
That's not the question. That's
So that was just for us?
yeah, that's for, what is the difference between this generation? They don't need to reverse it, but they can explain,
How
if
they-
you would like,
from
pass
their
it
point of
down,
view?
as it relates to your generation. Because it's kind of hard, because they wasn't around. We were. So, but as it stands now, I guess you could, put it in your own perspective briefly. What do you see in being a difference in this generation, which would be yours now, and the older generation?
I feel like the older generation had things, they worked really hard and they had a lot of stuff to do, but they had it like a little easier in a way. And it can kind of be like proven a little, like when you think of like how our generation is like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, for example, the education system, it's a lot more stressful than how it was back then. They're teaching new things, having new findings, and especially in America, it's, they're not really helping us, they're just trying to get it out of the way. Because, for example, in other countries, such as like Finland, they took out standardized testing because they saw what it was doing to students these days. Like, it's taking away our mental health. Like, that's why you see, like, I'm pretty sure there was mental issues such as depression and anxiety back then that probably went unrecognized. But there's a lot more seen today. Like, I see a lot of it. And I feel like it's because they're making everything so much harder for the generation, because I think America just still wants to be on top of the other countries still. And they just don't really care about the younger generation anymore. Or they're not paying more attention to them.
That was really good.
I would say, how can I put this? Lack of like socialization, like detached socially. So like everybody can have social media, Instagram. It could be like 4 people at a table, everybody will be on their phones, nobody talking, nobody communicating. I mean, I feel like that's how bad it's gotten. Like, nobody wants to talk, nobody wants to communicate anymore. I like to communicate face to face. A lot of people don't want to do that. Everything is social media, everything is Instagram. Like, nobody wants to have that, so can't really get anywhere like that. So that's the only thing I can really say. Okay, I was about to say pass, but I think the thing that is affecting us is like we let a lot of technology raise children today, because children want to be like this person, and the way young women carry themselves today is terrible. You know, they want to wear certain things, they want to do certain things, they want to act like these people on TV, and it's not real. It's not real, okay? I'm let y'all know that. Okay, these rappers is not real, okay? So they want to be like rappers, and it's like, it's like they let a lot of TV shows raise our children and teach them how to act, and that's not how ladies should act. Ladies shouldn't be carrying themselves a certain way on social media. It's gotten bad. And back then, I feel like a lot of women had more poise. They knew how to address certain things. They knew how to address men. They knew how to they knew what they wasn't gonna tolerate off of a man. They knew what they wanted. And it's like now, you have young kids who, I want a relationship, don't know nothing about love, nothing. They just feel because they see it on TV, they want it. I think a lot of women back then, which is what I respect, they had a lot more respect about themselves. And they carried themselves really respectfully.
That was good. She was saying. Just like she said, our generation is exposed to too much. We got too much access on the internet, so really that's what we put more of our time to. And what we put more in our time to, we're gonna learn the most from. You feel me? So, like, the more we see, rappers, on Snapchat throwing money up in the air, just looking at the videos of the rappers, just listening to it, it's like music is nothing but a motivator. So what we listen to, we're gonna be motivated to do, and it's gonna see through our actions as we get older. So that's what we gotta be careful of, is what we expose ourselves to as young people.
Amen.
I heard something, and just quickly, I heard something from the young lady here. Sounded like to me you were saying you wish parents would be more strict in that area. And amen. That's so true. I mean, biblical messages have more of an effect on you than you know. Because human beings, since we are intelligent, which is a fortunate and unfortunate thing, we have a tendency to learn from our experiences, and we have a tendency to be more or less led by our flesh if we don't allow God's Spirit. And when you're young, coming up in or out of church or learning about church, then you have to learn how to allow God's Spirit to move and dictate to you. And right now, what the devil has done is set up strongholds in every corner of the earth to try to prevent that from happening. That's a deep discussion. I'm not going to go there. So the next question is, and this is for everyone on the panel, is there's actually three questions here. The first one is, what made you come to Christ? We're going to start with the young people.
What made me come to Christ is really just watching how my parents and everybody else, because I was raised around a Christian, based family, and I used to just look at how, they would act and see how my family, they can relate to each other so much and how they love each other even through family get-togethers. And I wondered, how that was seen, without Christ, in my family. And it was one day I went to another side of my family, and of course they was all family bunched together, but it seemed like it wasn't the same type of atmosphere as my own family, which was Christian-based, and they weren't. So I was kind of scared not to be with Christ, because I didn't want to know how that felt. So yeah, that's what made me come to Christ.
What made me come to Christ is because, again, piggyback what you said, I would just see how, like, my mom wouldn't have any worries, like, it'd just be like an incident, and they're like, oh, we got it, it's okay, God's gonna take care of it. I said, I don't want to worry, I want to not worry like that, like, how you do that? Like, it's like, just the fact of not having to worry about things and knowing that God's gonna take care of it and just not stressing yourself out. Like, I would just see how normal people would stress themselves out, and it's like a stress-free, it's like a stress reliever, because God is gonna take care of it, and He does. Yeah. So that's one reason that made me just come to Christ, because it's just like a stress-free feeling. Amen. What made me come to Christ is by going to church and listening to the pastor. Christ kind of presented Himself to me and made me want to learn more, and I became more intrigued by what was going on, who is God, who is Jesus, and by learning Jesus, I'm able to know who God is, the love God has for me, because our love has limits, but God's love has no limits. So that really intrigued me, and I'm like, I want that love, I want that fatherly love, that parent love, I want that. So, amen.
Maybe come to Christ was my mom mostly. She would take me to church all the time, and I felt like I was a preacher's kid sometimes because I was singing church. But it was stuff that she used to do, we'd be at home and we'd go into spiritual warfare. We'd listen to music, have it as loud as we can, even though we were in an apartment. They was gonna worship with us too. So we dancing, swinging towels everywhere, it was the little flags, swinging the towels like that, and I just felt a connection when I was doing it, even though I may have not understood everything when I was little about it. The warfare made me understand, and I felt like because she did that, it made me grow a deeper wisdom to know not only about God, but growing a connection with Him and just being smarter in general. I don't know.
How I came to follow God at a very young age. He used to speak to me in my dreams. And I can remember waking up one day just feeling like I had been somewhere else. And I got introduced to him actually through my mom, my grandparents. My grandmother used to pray for us, and so did my mom. But there was a mantle on my grandma that I just admired. I just, I wanted to know more. Like, what is this? How did you get it? How do you speak to God? She had a relationship that I wanted. So at a very young age, he started to introduce himself to me, started to talk and communicate to me through dreams. And it just taught me how, like she said, warfare. He taught me how to fight. He taught me how to pray. He taught me what he wanted when it came to worship, when it came to warfare, what I needed to do. He taught me how to hear him. And in doing that, just doing what he told me to do, I believe it showed her. It showed her what he expected as far as the relationship goes with him. He wanted unconditional worship, unconditional praise. It didn't matter what time of day or night, even in a dream, or just walking into church or going to school. I always had that connection. I always wanted more. And his spirit, if you ask him for it, he'll start to give you more. As you get hungry for him, as you get thirsty for him, you can ask him, for the fire, of the altar. You can ask him for it and he'll give it to you. And that's what, I guess, brought me to him, because I was hungry. I wanted to know more about him. I wanted to be more in his presence. Amen.
Well, for me, unlike the last 5 people that spoke, I came to Christ later on in life. I think I was 28. But I always knew there was something there. Even when I was younger, I had other siblings that was older. I'm the youngest of 5. And, they would drink, party, smoke. They had some addictions. And so I was around that stuff all the time, but God held me. He kept me. And I didn't know it at the time when I was young.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Wasn't it something to hear what the young people really thought and what they were concerned about? Those questions were awesome. And there were even more. I hope you would have been there. But this was just an example of what our young people are up about and what they're doing and what they think about. So please, thank you for joining in, and I hope to see you again soon.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Vicki Winans, and you're watching Bell Global Network.
My name is Mike Duggan, and I'm watching the Bell Global Network.
Hey, keep it locked. It's your boy D. Hattie, watching the Bell Global Network. You know how it is.
Hi, I'm Charlie Langton, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
Hi, this is Martha Reeves, and you're watching Bell Global Network.
Hi, everybody. I'm telling you, everything that happened to me that was good, God did it. I'm Evelyn Turrentine, AG, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
This is Pastor D. Alexander Bullock of Preachers of Detroit, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
This is Bishop Edgar Van of Second Ebenezer Church in Detroit, Michigan, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
Hi, I'm Bernadette Stannis. You know me best as Thelma from the TV show Good Times, and you are watching Bell Global Network.